archaeologists. I'm the Johnstruct. Welcome to the proximity. I'm having Silent Hill F adventure. I was playing this earlier today. I've decided to come back. I'm a little tired, I won't lie. I had to abandon a stream about 20 minutes ago because I was just a bit knackered. I still am, but I don't want to take a nap at like 10 o'clock at night because that means I'll wake up at midnight and it'd be a whole thing. I don't want to do that. Let's complete this game. I think I'm close to the first ending. F is for first ending. So I mean, I've also got a can of Pepsi. It's got strawberries and cream in, and also caffeine. But also, I think my brain. I'm more into this game at the moment than I am the One Piece game, and I think that will help. We'll roll with what my brain wants, rather than try and have lots of different flavors. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that made any sense, but I don't know if this makes any sense. You see, I made a connection between my brain and the computer game that I'm playing. Themes. Look at that. Doesn't it remind you of the War of the Worlds, the booklet, the Red Creep, Jeff Wayne? No. I see. The problem is I'm talking to hypothetical people. I mean, there might be some viewers, but like they're lurking. But like I'm never gonna hear a reply. So if I'll be like, hey, like it's always gonna be silence after. That's the sort of nature of this business. Let's continue the game. It does. Just take my word for it. Just if you ever find a copy of the CD, yeah, we used to have little discs, round discs that we put in machines, and they'd play music for us. And they'd sometimes come with cool pictures and stuff. And the Jeff Wayne War of the Worlds musical had pictures of the Red Creep, and it looked gnarly as fuck. It looks a bit like this. I'm turning on my controller. Had it been on already, I would have pressed the continue. There we go. I think we are near the end of this game, and by that I mean the end of the first run of this game, because I know who Ryukishi is, and I know that this has a new game plus, and it has a new game plus, and it has a new game. I don't know how many deep it is, but I know. I've seen other things he's done. I've seen things. I also I like to rewatch cutscenes with a streamer, and he picked up an item I didn't have yet, which might explain why I'm fucking stuck. So let's go pick those up. Actually, I know exactly what I'm missing, so. But yes. Don't want to deal with you. Alright, so I wrote a little note. Where are we? Yes. So we want to go to her bedroom. Which is... Where did I write the note? And the tube room? I believe that's a kitchen. I don't know where a bedroom is. Oh, yes, I do. I'm not sure if this is the room. I don't think this is the bedroom. The hell did I write? Room. Bookshelf? That's not a word, John. What were you trying to run? I tell you what, we need to go to the kitchen anyway. Double check so. I don't think it was this room. Okay. One of them is just that there. Cool. Okay, that wasn't the important one, but I did want it. Where's Harvard? Say hello to this cool image. So now the eye does follow you. Hello. So I thought this was just like a giant version of one of those scale models. Because like they're all the scales that we picked up earlier. They had figures representing the family, and that's just the father. And like these are just small versions of them. They might also be like drinks. Like it definitely represents the father either way, and the implication is that we may have hit him on the head and killed him, which would presumably explain why she's no longer around and why she has to change from who she was and why there's two people inside of her. To move on to the plot, we need to pick up an item from her bedroom, and I cannot remember which one's her bedroom. I thought it was this. Well, no, because it'll have the posters. And unlike that present, which was actually right out in the open and quite visible. Yeah, this isn't her bedroom. It doesn't have the posters in. There's her bedroom. It'll repeat as well. Yeah, like those, but different one. Lots of dolls as well. I think the boxes refill over time as well. Seems like it. Okay. Is it over there? It's a looping. I swear it's a looping room. I mean, there's only so many. You would have thought there'd be a picture. That's the bathroom, pool, or what the fuck that is. It's the kitchen. I don't even know what that room. Hey, there's a door unexplored. Leave me alone. Oh, I just didn't go in the room. Well, that explains why I never... Oh, damn it. It's because I'm always focusing. I never hit the counter. Oh, I've eaten through all my health. Fuck. Really? I mean, we'll just do this. I don't think this item was available, you know. I don't think this room was available, even. My diary. It's a block of wax. A semi-transparent block of wax placed in my diary for some reason. I would have voted reasons unknown, but whatever. There seems to be something stuck inside this. There are many creatures that discard their shells as they mature. I believe that the suffocating feeling you're experiencing is merely a sign that you are growing up, and that it's time to rid yourself of your shell. Don't you think it's a strange coincidence that your name means baby bird? I'm sure that all this is simply pointing to the fact that the time for you to spread your winds, typo there, and fly is drawing near. Unless she's like wind, but I'm sure that's a typo. Oh look, there's pictures of birds. That's my nose. Ooh. I had so much health. I must have spent it all somehow. I can't believe I went through all that. Okay. Now we can use the stove. I have the fletching key. Okay, I was expecting one of those yeah, one of those things. Key. I've no fucking clue where to put a key. Bird room? There. That's what I meant by the model. Oh, the father's... Somebody's missing a head. Oh, it'll be that. It's that. Okay. I need to go back to 3 again. Am I wasting resources? Probably. Let's go round again. Look at this gory bath. Bit of a bloodbath this is. I prefer to have more health to go.
わね。ひなこ
綺麗
の
事はやめて。私知ってるよ。お父さんの借金のせいでしょ。
おい、なんだと？
おかしな人に騙されてお金を全部持ち逃げされたのはお父さんの責任じゃない。お母さんもあんなに倹約して、お姉ちゃんだって友達に笑われても古い服のままで少しでも幸せになろうって家族みんなで貯めたお金だったんだよ。偉そうなこと言う前に謝ってよ。私に、お姉ちゃんに、お母さんにずっと迷惑をかけてきたことを謝ってよ。
なんだその言い草は！
お父さん、やめてください。お願いします。ひなこ、悪いけどお惣菜を買ってきてくれる？
だって
何でもいいから行きな、早く。
離せ！今日という今日は我慢ならん。親のことを何だと思ってやがる。
落ち着いてください。お願いします。お父さん。
Got ourselves a blackbird and a sword plate. What's
女
for?
は家畜と変わらないんだ。
I used to think it was just my dad who was like this, but after listening to all the married women around here, plain every man seems just as bad. All their husbands were just as short-tempered, just as violent, just as useless, and do just as little to help out their wives. After learning this, every grumpy-looking old man in town I see reminds me of him. When I think that I was born and raised to support these horrible tyrants, I lose all hope. If everything works out, they're going to give my father a lot of money. I'm sure he's desperate to use it to pay back his debts. Father's selling me to pay back his... I beg your pardon? Father's selling me to pay back his debts. Woman's happiness begins with marriage. She told me that every opportunity she got. Am I supposed to believe that she's actually happy with the life she is now in this town? Today my dad threw a knife, got stuck in the tatami mat. There were chips and dings all over the house. Every last one of them from when he threw something. That what happiness is, my mother, seeing a house in such a sorry state, full of scars. Her dad used to be a fisherman when he was younger. Go out on long... Oh, is that what the phone call was? Because he fell for a scam. Lost all his money. And was when he was younger would go on long fishing trips out in the sea. Managed to save up enough money to open up a restaurant, a place where he could put his skills of a knife to use. Didn't work out though. Not only did he lose all his savings, he took on a new debt too. Or was that just him phoning other people? Might be that. He spends his day drinking his life away in a sleepy little town that's a long way away from the sea. He never tries to cook anything anymore. It's only when he complains about Mum's food that he pretends to be some kind of important chef. Mate, we might want to kill this thing. Say my head. sun rose behind the fox's back. The sword and the fox fought. Battling upon a set of scales. Day after day, the sun rose behind the fox's back, set behind the swords. Scales upon which they fought, however, were no more. I sort of got lucky with the positioning of the sword and the fox, but it makes sense. Pine tree emblem. Wooden badge with an engraved pine tree design.
ひなこ、シュウ君から電話だよ。
今いないって言って。
いるって言っちゃったよ。
じゃあ買い物に行ってるとか言っといてよ。
はいはい、わかったよ。
私が見えてるよね。とうとう私の声まで聞こえるようになったんだ。そんなとこに立ってないで入ったら、ちょうど話がしたかったところだから。あなたは誰なの？自分でもおかしいと思うの。自分で自分がわからない感じ。自分の気持ちが自分で理解できない。どういうこと？何の話をしているの？多分あなたは私で、私はあなたじゃない。そういう気がするの。あなたは誰？私がひなこならあなたは誰なの？あ、ひなこなのは同じ。でも心はもう清水ひな子じゃないのかもしれない。わけのわからない言い方はやめて。何の話をしているの？あんたこそとぼけるのはやめて。さっきからなんで何もわからないふりをしているの？ねえ、しっかりと私と向き合って、ちゃんと考えて。私はね、あんたをすぐに殺すこともできたんだよ。でもしなかった。なんでかわかる？ちゃんとあんたと清水ひな子と本気で話がしたかったから。私たちは対等に、そして全力で殺し合わなくちゃいけない。なのにあんたは逃げ回るだけ。それどころか、
So this is the ghost.
真剣に私たちのことを考えようともしていない。これ以上あんたが逃げ回るならもういい。もう今度こそあんたを殺すから。あんただけ けじゃないからね。お父さんもお母さんも殺す。この家もこの町も消し去ってやる。リンコもサクコも殺す。そしてもちろんあんたの大切な相棒もね。シュはどこにいるのねえ。シュってそんなに大事？あんたのこと未だに宇宙戦争ごっこの相棒だと思ってるんだよ。あんたのこと女だとさえ思ってくれてないんだよ。ただの幼馴染の腐れ。死んだって全然問題ない。シュは大切な私の相棒だ。殺されてたまるか。
So, back in the day, I watched like a couple of episodes of an anime called, let's just say it's called Higurashi. There's like a full name, but I've forgotten what it's called. It's like called When the Ogres Cry. And in that anime, the first episode, it's about like 4 kids in school, and they all get horrifically murdered by the end of the episode. The second episode is the same story again, but different people are the killers or something. There's some other phenomenon going on. I didn't quite get it, but I am told that it's an adaptation of a VN, and it wasn't a particularly good adaptation. So I finally, eventually, watched somebody play through or read through most of. I've not finished Umineko. Which I think that means seagull, or When the Seagulls Cry. I can't remember the full name of it, but if I say Umineko, people who have read it will know what I mean. And the plot of Umineko, I do know quite well. Umineko is like 6 books worth, and I've read like 4 or 5 of them. The plot of Umineko is you are a estranged, well, the main character is a battler, he's called, an estranged family member returning to a reunion. So there's this patriarch, this grandfather, he has this vast fortune, everyone visits him once a year for reasons. But Battler is estranged, he's recently come back into the family, so there's that as well. And then, you know, there's this story about the grandfather getting this like vast fortune from a witch, and there's even like a mystery below the Sweetfish River, and so on and so forth. Everyone starts getting murdered off in horrific fucking ways. It's really gory, by the way. And spoiler warning for Umineko. Like I can't really explain my point without spoiling some parts of it. But at the end of the story, everyone fucking dies. They appear in the afterlife, or the Golden Land, and they go, well, that kind of sucks, but, you know, at least it's all over now. Let's move on to better places. And everyone's like, yeah, not everyone's there, but some of the characters. There's the grandfather, he's not there. He's going to remain a mystery. And the parent, there's a bunch of parents who are all like siblings, because it's one big family, and there are a bunch of cousins. So it's mainly the cousins and the young servants who are hanging out at this stage. And they're like, okay, well, we might as well just move on. And then Battler's like, no, what do you mean no? Who killed us? Who did the murder? I want to know who did the murder. And it's like, which did the murder, Battler? It's physically impossible to have done those murders. It's like, no, there's no such thing as witches. And it's like, well, no, because like half the murders were in like locked rooms. Battle, it's not and then the witch turns up and she's like, but don't worry about it, I did the murders, I'm an evil witch. connected to, I did the, and he said, no, I don't believe in witches. And it's like, and the story restarts. We do the entire murder mystery again, which is an entire fucking book's worth of story. But now occasionally we step into a meta layer where Battler and the Witch are like, okay, well, how would anyone have done this? And it's like, well, you know, maybe there's like a secret mechanism in the room or something. I've seen me. And she's like, okay, no, I'll tell you what, I'm going to introduce a room, because this is nonsense. You could just make shit up. If I say the words in red, that's gospel. There is no random mechanism in the room. And it's like, so there's this game of chess between those two. The story is different. Different people are murdered in different order, seemingly for different reasons. We get different backstories. Anyway, the only reason I explained all that is because there's obviously some of that in this. Ryukishi's using some of the same themes. I won't go through it all. But, like, 3 of the stories are what's called the questions arc, and 3 of them are the answers arc. I think that's the correct number. I thought it was 4 and 4, but I think it's actually 3 and 3 now. And there's a bit where the dialogue keeps saying, you stopped thinking. Specifically to Battler. It's just criticizing him for not actually thinking through the mysteries very well. Like, his reasoning for, like, how he got away with denying the witch early was not very strong. Because it's just like, okay, your mechanism thing should have been dismissed out of hand. Because suddenly the rules of fiction come into it. Knox's 10 rules. This is like deep spoilers into it. But like, my point is that it was quite an important line. You've stopped thinking. And she said it. She said it to her just then. She paraphrased it, but it's the same line. The thing about this story, and I'm getting a little bit extra because the streamer who I watched read through Umineko is the streamer I'm watching play this behind me, and obviously not only is it his insight, he's got like 1,000 people watching him, so like I can pick up on things. But one of the things I did notice, but he did as well, so I get to be like, well, okay, somebody's had the same idea as me, is a lot of the plot points in this are like all of the tropes. Like, there's a lot about Space Quest, and I've been going, well, you know, that's probably because they want to canonize the silly UFO ending, if there is one. But like, they've implied that she's dead all the way. There's 2 characters who are like, she's not here anymore. She's been dead. This is all a coma after you're dead. There's radio things about like there being an illness. There's implication that the drugs are psychotropic drugs. I don't know if that's the correct. You know what I mean? They have all the answers. There's implications that there's a magical wolf inside of her, but now actually that's like. It's piling on all of the ideas at once. But the thing about Umineko is, what I know is, Umineko fucking lies. And some of the lies are like reasonable. Like, when it starts replaying the story, it does some blatant, like, things of it, supernatural stuff. And if you can sort of reasonably watch that and go, oh, I can dismiss the supernatural stuff out of hand, because that's just the witch lying, which is sort of interesting for a book to do, to just like, not unreliable narrator, but just straight up lie to you. Like, I think it's when some characters are introduced and basically some of the fictional monster characters are very easily kind of, oh, well, they're just metaphorically just weapons that people could have used. And once you think like that, you suddenly realize, oh, because it's not just the witch, it's there's like an entire cast of characters that Battler have to deal with, and you're like, okay, this is all lies. But also, the conceit of the story repeating again and again doesn't actually make sense. How possibly could it? Oh, there's only one story of what happened, right? But the story introduces somebody way off in the future trying to figure out the mystery, and suddenly the implication is, oh, it's just her thinking of the story, and it's just a really fucking sad story of her imagining that her brother was this hero trying to battle a witch, and not just like a horrific series of murders that happen online. So I'm sorry for spoiling that, but like, I have to assume something similar is going on. Like, some of this is nonsense. The idea that Rinko and Sakura, what's her name, are literal monsters is probably just not true. It's all subtext, right? Monster that's taken the form of a head priest. It sounds just like Rinko, swinging around the Onusa staff used for purification rituals. The creature is consumed by fires of jealousy and remains surrounded by babbling puppets. There's no way Rinko is a monster like this, but this is her without a doubt. The way I like to sum up Umineko is, in some Agatha Christie stories, they introduce a supernatural element. They say, what if that guy is psychic? That guy claims to have psychic powers, and Poirot will take it seriously, but he doesn't, and he'll have Miss Lemon like explain stuff to him about the occult and things like that. But by the end of the story, no, he was just lying because he's quite willing to play along with someone else's farce because he knows that it's nonsense. But for the audience, you're supposed to have a little bit of going, well, maybe it was psychic powers. You know what I mean? And by the end, it's not. It's just not. Hideous monster covered in countless skin cysts. It spawns monster after monster from dreadful smelling clumps of flesh it drops. Filthy, foul, and repulsive. The wonders of birth do not apply to this. What was I going to say? Fuck. There was one last bit to that. Fuck, what was it? Mineko, obviously. Fuck, I completely distracted myself from my point by reading the book. How dare I play the game? Oh, it was about Rinko, like, the book's not being literal, but subtextual, but like something else on top of that. It will come back to me. I've not actually finished reading Umineko as well, which will help with this because it means I don't have a conclusion to which to like, oh, it will be the same ending, and it means I don't spoil the ending for you. I did have one last point that I completely forgot to remember. I just realised I can't fight him. You know what, I probably could have... This isn't a puzzle, I probably could have just put that in. my initial point was that it's like all the layers at once.
うちの中まで
I was like, how is this possibly going to resolve? I think the point with metatextual stories like this, though, is that all the layers are true anyway. Just like you take the layer you prefer, and yeah, sure, there's a deeper truth, but there's like a literal thing and a metatextual thing and a thematic thing, you know, a subtextual thing. And they're all true on their own levels. They're not supposed to be like, well, actually, just the literal ending is this. Why are there 3 bodies?
どうしてこんなことに
I mean, it has to be the 3 friends, right?
Hinako, 遅かったな。今から始めるところだったぞ。誰のなんだと。それではご一同様包丁のさよ
Wait, because he's chef.
どうぞご覧くださいよーなんじゃその言い草は
So there has been a monster with a giant knife already in the game? This version of Pyramid Head? Yeah. That's cool.
仕方がないよ。それが女の役目なの。
お父さん、お母さん、どうして？
ちょっとこっちに来なさい。謝りなさい。いいお嫁さんになれないよ。
Oh, I hate it when it does it when I'm mid-swing.
どうしてひな子はそうなの。こんな子に育てた覚えはないよ。じゃあいいお嫁さんになれないよ。ちょっとこっちに来なさい。謝りなさい。
I like that she actually throws him towards him.
いい加減諦めなさい。
Oh, let's just camp them. Fucking Dark Soul faints over here. No! Oh, fuck.
ちょっとこっち。いいお嫁さんになれないよ。どうしてひな子はそうなの？こんな子に育てた覚えはないよ。どうしてひな子はそうなの？
I really like that he actually hurts his wife. That's a terrible thing to, you know what I mean. No, I was mid-heal! Fuck off! Yeah, I don't like that it interrupts my heal like that. I'd already pressed. That wasn't a like, oh, I didn't quite press it. She was mid. Pick up the thing. Ghost lady? It's a bigger thing than I was expecting.
これを飲みなさい。少し楽になるはずだ。
In pain as well?
私は一体。
まだ体が馴染まないのだろう。よくここまでこらえてくれた。
So on this side they're not acknowledging the gaps in between. I guess that's true of both the sides. Oh, you've spilled some. I actually don't know if I'm gonna hit the first ending or not. I just assumed this was the climax.
これでは皆様に愛想を尽かされてしまうでしょうか。
そんなことは私が許しはしない。少し血色が良くなった。君の体にも合うようだ。 先祖の霊に備えた米と水を混ぜ合わせてこしたものだ。神聖な力が宿っている。
もう出てます。ありがとうございます。
そうか、気をつけて。そうだ、君にこれを。もう君が私のものであることの証だ。
That's a fox.
行こう。君のために用意したものがもう一つある。
はい。
So I was curious about the models when I saw those photographs, because I was like, okay, they just cast people and made models of them. And yes, I don't know any of their names, but like on the other stream, people mentioned, oh, she looks older in the photograph, and it's like, yeah, she's like a 25-year-old woman, which is fair enough. But I will say, it didn't quite capture the actual actor. I don't know why that is. People said in forums, Hideo Kojima said that he doesn't. One of the reasons he uses Western actors so often is because he just doesn't think Japanese people scan very well. And I will say, I've sort of seen that before. Alan Wake as Saga Anderson, and like occasionally you'll see flashes of the real actor's face, because Alan Wake 2 uses real life. And it feels like the model's really accurate, but it's missing some part of her. And I assumed it was because she's got black skin, and I assumed the way the lighting works, there's adding a harshness to her face that isn't present for the real life version of that person. And it might be, I don't know if it's the same. According to Hideo Kojima, it makes their faces too smooth with Japanese actors, but obviously we can't see what her face looks like anymore. So because they simultaneously look accurate and a bit uncanny at the same time. Hello, lurkers. I don't know how long you've been around for, but I just fought my parents. Now we're in the Fox realm again. Oh, this is on. Oh, it's all doggos.
なんだか賑やかな絵。立派な方々。
Family physician's log. Mr. Hidetoshi and his wife had passed away, one after the other. At the time of death, the skin all over the bodies was covered in sores and began sloughing off. I've spoken to people about this, and I thought that it was sloughing. Did I? Oh, fucking, I don't know. Is it sloughing or sloughing? It's like a gross word for it. The smell was indescribably awful. I could not bear to take a closer look. head of the house did not give permission to perform autopsies on the bodies. There'll be no funeral. They'll be sent to be cremated immediately. Midnight, eldest son passed away again. There will be no funeral. The body was sent away for cremation. The eldest and second-born daughters are also experiencing symptoms that are worsening by the hour. I believe they'll be in critical condition by tomorrow at least. Yeah, so one of the story beats, like, again, it seems like all the stories are happening at the same time and they're incompatible with each other. And one of them is there's a strange pandemic in the town that will explain everything. Look, happy chappy. It's an ornate scroll. Purify once and for all, leave you the filth of your behind. This world is imperfect. There's little baby ones. Invite all you. I don't know, exit the fucking room. Housemaid's note. Shortly after I became their maid, there was talk of an arranged marriage for the young heir to a noblewoman. This led to the heir unceremoniously ending all his scandalous relationships with women, including one with a young housemaid named Sachi. Sachi came from a family of poor farmers, but her beauty shone brighter than the sun, something that had caught their young heir's eye. By the time that his marriage was being arranged, she had already had a life going inside her, and the two made vows to run away and start a new life together. And yet their young heir cruelly and wantonly cast her aside. Likely he did not want his prospective marriage to be ruined. So the Tsunekis kicked Sachi out and drove her to some far-off place where she should forget her existence, despite the peace of the family she carried with her. People say that she was fighting back tears so hard that blood began to trickle from her eyes. I would like a map, please. Yes, that trailer actually looked really good. I probably am never going to touch Fortnite, but you know what? That was a really cool trailer. I won't lie. I hope Homer has his makeup shotgun. Oh. Oh, I've got loads of bandages. I thought I'd used them all up. Oh, well, that says 7, not 1. That explains quite a lot, to be honest. Where's my fucking save point game? Game, some of us have no sense of direction. Cowards. Prove your intent with crests 3. Show what lies deep within your heart. Let the line of foxes guide you. Of the crests, lay bare your soul. Time to pray.
宴は終わりましたでしょうか。
The Sunekis are the most notable family in this area, known for their wealth. For generations, each head of family has possessed a talent for business and acumen they have utilized during the times of social unrest to amass a large fortune. However, given that a great many suffered while they grew rich, their actions have often drawn envious eyes. When I first entered the service of the Sunekis, my grandmother shared some of the many rumors that swirl around the family. Each time the world falls to pieces, the Sunekis' treasury only grows larger. Sunekis are happily waiting for misfortune to strike, can line their pockets. Who the fuck are the Sunekis and the... Okay, now I want... Okay. So, we have stuff from Shu. So, everything to do with Shu, like... Even the stuff with Shu seems contradictory. Sometimes the issue is that Shu is in love with her, but she only thinks of him as a partner. And the other times is he only thinks of her as a partner and not as a girl because they grew up, you know, which seem contradictory. There's a Rinko and Takako, and they are opposite ends of the scale. Where Takako is in need of a friend so much that any sort of abandoned sense of abandonment. It feels like a betrayal. Whereas Rinko is the opposite. Rinko is what feels like she's entitled to everything that Hinako has because she's smarter and faster and better. But for some reason, Hinako has all this stuff, especially Shu. So it's the two ends of the competency scale. But again, this is probably just exaggerated quite a lot, right? Like, because the friends seem less important than the sister. The doll and the sister were the very first things introduced in the game, and all the way through the game, the doll said, "Hey, that fox is fucking lying. She's gonna betray you," and it's all that. And her sister had, she was really important to me, and then she disappeared one day because she got married. And so, like, the whole thing with the fox, where all this like sacrifices, she cut off her arm, she cut off her face, got a brand, and there was a wedding. So there's clearly some anxieties there. That's about Sakako. There's the fear of the dark. I don't know what Rinko's connection with lava is exactly, but lava, the monsters also often have lava on them. Shu has a connection with herbs. He's related to the doctor, and obviously there's at least one letter around here that says, "Hey, all these local people are using the local drugs instead of real medicine," and there's the implication that there's a hallucinogenic drugs. April 7th seems like a very important day. He has, of course, paid off his debt. So why was he a drunk asshole all the time? Ones I'm more interested in, though, is there's letter from a woman. Like, what the fuck is this? Strict mother. There's the strict mother. So we saw a flashback of him of Hinako meeting a boy in the park, and he was a well-off boy, and they moved away. They have noble blood. What's his connection to the story? I think, like, I'm really curious because if we go back to Umineko, which I did talk about for a long time, but the thing about it playing the same story again and again is it kept introducing new characters. You keep thinking, oh, there's the core characters and the stories about them, but there are more people not on the island involved in the story than there are on the island involved in the story somehow. But there's only so many monsters in this game. They've done a reasonably good job of like varying. Oh, the scarecrows are just the mannequins again. Some of the mannequins have swords for legs. There's the two unique bosses, and then there's the big father boss, which is the guy with the knife all along. But like, there aren't a lot of actual monsters, and there's the dog man. Letter from man. See, letter from boy, letter from man, letter from woman are very suspicious. There's also a layer about just the gods, because there's a religion, but the dog religion was closer, so people just followed that one instead. So Rinko stuff. Journal. Rinko again. So this is the herbs. Features, awaken dormant powers. Flower of the gods. But also this one says, you know, lucid dreams. There's a Kakura, Arakakura, and that flower is certainly reminiscent of something else. It's the wonder drug. But everyone possesses an inner you, and everyone possesses inside of that is an inner you. So this is just metatextual. Doctor complaining about them using their local medicine. This is all about the there's a small earthquake, and so there's a disaster going on. There's strange autopsies, insect eggs inside them. Yeah, case 08. But some of them imply that the mannequins are people with an illness. Yeah, they the faces deform into a menacing glare.